Alright guys, back again for another review. Big Tom.
Damien.
Today we're going to be doing the Clone Wars. Someone's not happy sat next to me. We have the Taifun GT clone.
This is the one from Fasttech.
Get rid of this piece of crap.
Now, we know this is a genuine Taifun GT here, which I got from White Fog. You saw my review on that. If you didn't, go and check it out. I absolutely love this atomizer. It is my go-to atomizer. I really like it. It's a great design. It's a great look. It's a great flavour, and it's a great vapor production. So I saw these pop up on Fasttech. I was a little bit, oh, I love my Taifun, but I'll get one because we want to do a review of it. We want to check it out. We want to see how good it is. And I was waiting for it. I mean, I ordered it ages ago. I think I ordered it sort of middle of November when they first sort of hit. And then going to check if it's landed or things like this, some threads started popping up, and basically I got the knowledge that inside on the deck was not stainless steel, it was chrome plated brass. Yeah? Chrome plated fucking brass? Really? And so I was reading these threads, and some people were saying they'd got them and they had chrome plated brass. Other people said, no, we've got them and they're stainless steel. Well, I got mine and it's chrome plated fucking brass. So it's not getting vaped. I'm not touching it, basically. If you don't know a lot about these metals, chrome plated, there's a reason that we don't have brass atomizers. We've got all these nice flashy brass mods, but why are there no brass atomizers? Well, because brass has lead content in it, okay? It's a dirty metal as well. As we all know, brass patinas. If you leave brass for a week, it will get really dirty. It will get this really grimy sort of look to it, and you'll have to clean that off or give it a polish or give it a shine. So why on earth would you want your fucking juice to sit in that? That is the reason we don't have brass atomizers. And the chrome plating in this thing as well is so soft that basically just a little scratch and the stuff will ping off. That's going to go in your juice as well. So for all those people out there who've got the Taifun GT clone from Fasttech, do not use it. You know what I mean? This is my recommendation. I'm not using mine. It's as far as it looks wise, it looks bang on. There are a couple of differences. Basically the knurling on the top here, the crosshatch, is a lot bigger on the clone than it is on the real deal. The serial number and the writing is fainter, and it's a different sort of colour. It's more of like a reddy colour than the black on the original Taifun GT. But apart from that, it looks spot on. The drip tip is bang on. The combo and plexiglass is bang on, apart from the threads are a little bit mooey. But the main issue here is it has chrome plated brass deck. And when I got mine, basically, as soon as I looked at the deck, I could see bits of the gold underneath the chrome plating, whereas some of it had obviously been flaked off or just come off on its own accord, and the brass is sitting underneath there. So yeah, I mean,
so if you're not getting this, what Damien's trying to say is it's poisonous, lead poison.
Well, yeah, it can be toxic. I mean, to get a zinc oxide out of it, you have to heat it up a hell of a lot to get that off it. But still, who wants chrome plated anything? Especially who wants chrome plated brass inside your atomizer? You don't want it. It's cheap, it's nasty. The chrome can flake off and get inside your e-liquid.
And you're vaping that.
And you're vaping that, you're inhaling that. Now, I've had a couple of people say to me as well, in arguments over it, well, what about cigarettes and what about the toxins that are in that? Well, that's why we left them. That's why we didn't want them anymore, because they would kill you eventually. They were bad for you, they were nasty, they were fucking horrible. And the same goes for anything else in my vaping equipment, okay? If it's got something like that that I'm fully aware isn't fucking good for you, then I don't want it. I also don't like chrome-plated anything, and especially not inside where my e-juice will sit. Basically, I know Fasttech have admitted the problem, and they are offering out the stainless steel decks and base section for all those that got the chrome plated brass. Put in a ticket if you have your Taifun GT and it's got chrome plated deck. If you're not sure, have a look now at your deck and see if it's stainless steel or chrome plated brass. It's easy to see. Basically it looks like it's been painted on rather than stainless steel, and also there might be a bit of gold showing underneath where it's had a scratch or something like that. If you paid 12 quid for this off Fasttech and you're not 100% sure, then give it a little scratch, and if it comes up gold underneath, throw it in the fucking bin or leave it aside and put your ticket in with Fasttech and get yourself another one. Then also the other problem that's happened with this, which I've discovered recently as well, it is now spilled over onto some UK resellers. And I picked up another Taifun GT to check this out from a UK vendor, and basically I was told it was a 1-1 clone, it was stainless steel, it wasn't chrome plated brass, and it turned up and it was chrome plated brass. Indeed it was. So that is being sent back. I will not be having that. I'll be sticking to my original genuine Taifun, God love it. But just a little warning for you out there about this Taifun GT clone that is surfacing about everywhere now. I mean I got number 77 from Fasttech and 660 something from the UK vendor. So I mean there's going to be a shitload of them out there, so be mindful. If you go onto the Fasttech site and you go onto the Taifun GT clone, there's a little scroll down box above the buy sign, and it does have the stainless steel base there, but it's sold out. They'll be selling that for £3.27 or something like that, but it says temporarily sold out at the moment. Whether or not that's just there because they're only going to be giving them out to the people with the chrome plated brass and they need an SKU number, or whether they're actually going to be selling them as an upgrade, I don't know. I've put in my ticket, I'm waiting for my response. But more importantly, I'd like everybody to know that it's chrome plated brass inside that Taifun GT. So it's a piece of fucking shit.
Don't vape it. Raise your tickets in and saying, or get rid of it, or leave it as something on the side just to say you've got it. Don't vape it. It's not worth it.
What we'll do now is we'll go down to the table and I'll show you this Taifun GT clone, show you all the bits and pieces, and let you have a look at what you've got to look for on the deck as well. Alright, so we'll see you in a minute. Okay, so here you have the Taifun GT clone from Fasttech. As you can see, the box is near damn very similar to the one you get in the original Taifun, the genuine Taifun. It doesn't have the R on this one next to the Taifun sign. Now, originally on the first batch of genuine Taifuns, they didn't actually have an R there. They eventually did have a TM and then changed it to an R. But some genuine Taifun boxes still don't come with a registered sign next to the Taifun, so that's not a problem. So when I open this thing up, you can see we've got what looks bang on like a Taifun GT, even presented in the same way. This one from Fasttech comes with a little bag of spares, which is a screwdriver, some silica wick, some mesh and some Canthil wire. Now let's move on to the actual Taifun itself. Now, on first glance, this thing looks bang on. It looks a really good copy. There is a big difference on the knurling on this top cap here. This cross-hatching section is a lot bigger. The cross-hatching is bigger than what you get on the genuine Taifun. Drip tip is removable, and that's identical to the drip tip that you get on the genuine Taifun. Let's take off this top cap section here. Now, I've heard some rumours about this being two pieces on some of the clones, excuse me, but on this one it is one piece. It is all one piece. You can't pull that apart, so that's not necessarily true that that's two pieces. Maybe on one of the other version of clones it is. The threads aren't too bad on this one. I've heard some reports that they're quite bad. On this one they're not too bad to screw down and unscrew. So that's not too bad. And here you have your chamber to your deck. So we'll take this top piece off. Another considerable difference is this section here, which you pull up and down like on the genuine Taifun, but it actually comes off quite easily and leaves a gap at the bottom, unlike the actual GT. So the GT you can pull up and it'll actually click to stop, whereas this is really easy to get on and off, and there's no stopping it really, and it lifts up high enough to leave a gap underneath. So that's another difference there. And here we come to the real, excuse the pun, base of the problem. That is chrome plated brass there on this deck. I've scratched away at it, and there is gold colouring underneath. I could actually, when I first got it, there was a little tiny scratch in it. You probably won't see it on this, but there is gold underneath that chrome plating, and that is basically junk. I wouldn't want to vape that. The air hole valve, or the small tube air hole in there, was bent when I got it. I've tried to take the valve out, the post out, but it won't come out. It's basically stuck in there at the moment, and bent it even more. So that's pretty shit as well. But apart from the chrome plating and the valve that was in there, it's a damn fine copy. You know, aesthetically, look-wise, it's bang on. But obviously with that chrome plating brass underneath, and the fact that it can chip away so easily, I mean, just a few scrapes I did with the screwdriver, and it came off, not a problem, and revealed the brass underneath. So for me, I will not be vaping this. I will not be putting my e-liquid in there. You know, you can even smell the chrome on there. It's just nasty. I wouldn't want that. Fasttech have said that they will be replacing this actual part here completely, and anyone who's bought one and has worked out that there's our chrome plated brass, put in a ticket, and Fasttech are offering you a replacement or $5 voucher, so that when they come into stock you can buy one, and keeping the rest of your unit. The serial numbers on this one, well, they're not as deep or as dark as on the Taifun GT. This is number 77. I have seen some that have said have gaps in their Taifun GT logo. I have a small gap between my T and my A, but that is about it. It's a very small gap, and my registered symbol above the N is also very light. The writing isn't as dark as on the genuine Taifun. So yeah, different cross hatching, lighter coloured serial numbers, chrome plated brass on this bastard. There are a few ways to tell it's different. However, this is all one piece, this section, and yeah, so what a shame really. Chrome plated brass, what a piece of shit. Won't be vaping that.
So as you can see, this is not a happy review. Not at all. It's not acceptable what Fasttech have done, regardless of if they're replacing it or not. This needs to be sorted. It needs to be let people know. It's a warning. Don't vape it.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of people out there who've got them. I've seen it all over Facebook. Everyone's happy they've got their Taifun GT clones and all that. But you've just got to be aware that, you know, what's inside it, and it's a cheap chrome plated brass, and there is a reason why we don't have brass atomizers. I mean, it's okay to have a brass sleeve on the outside, it's okay to have a brass drip tip, but anything that your e-liquid is going to sit inside and get heated up, have a coil on it, it's just not worth it. It's just, there's a reason why there's a reason why Zen changed his original high-end atomizers from brass to stainless steel. There's a reason that we don't have brass posts. There's a reason that we don't have it, and it's very simple. It has a lead content in it, and chromium as well, as you know. It can give you like a metal fucking fume poisoning. It's not good. You don't know. You don't know. It could be rare. It might not happen to anybody. But the fact is, there is a chance. So therefore, don't use it. Put in your ticket. Get your stainless steel base, or buy the real thing. You know, if you want a proper decent atomizer, then buy the real thing on it. If you're not 100% sure, I know it's expensive, but what is the price? You know what I mean? So.
Price and health is nothing.
Yeah, you don't want that chrome plating flaking off and getting into your e-liquid. You don't want to be vaping out of a brass. You just don't, okay? It's actually really pissed me off, to be totally honest. I've spent the last week talking to people online and informing them about chrome-plated brass inside, and some of them, a lot of people didn't have a clue. They didn't know how to spot it. They were vaping away on it, really enjoying the fact that they now had a Taifun, and they didn't even know any of the problems with brass and chrome-plated brass inside an atomizer. And so I've spent a good week trying to educate people about it, which, you know, there's not enough education out there for it. So just, you know, be mindful.
We have this fun with us clones and stuff. When it comes to stuff like this, we have to be informative. So if you've got one and you don't want to use it after this review, don't use it, or get your ticket in and get it changed. But this video, all it is just a warning. We're not rating it on looks, or we're not going to rate it on how it vapes, because it's not being vaped. It's being produced in there just to test it as it goes, just to make sure it fires. It fires, no vape's being done through it, and that's it.
Yeah, everything else works on it fine. You know, at the end of the day, I've now got a drip tip and a spare combi plexiglass tank for my Taifun if anything ever goes wrong. But as far as vaping this thing goes, I'm not going to bother with it. I'm not bothering with a deck with chrome plated brass. I'm just not. And that's me personally. This is my opinion, you know. But it's not. It's truthful out there. It is not fucking good for you.
It's common sense.
It's so, you know, and if you're unsure, do a little bit of research on chromium, do a little research on brass, zinc oxides, metal fume syndrome, and all that, and have a little look at it at the end of the day. And once again, I mean, it's plainly obvious. This is why we don't have brass atomizers. This is why we don't have full brass atomizers to go with our lovely brass mods, because of that issue. And I mean, it's pretty obvious. Like I said, if you have a brass mod and you use it for a week, or you leave it for a week, it changes fucking colour. It goes duller, it goes darker, it tarnishes, it patinas. So that is going to do it inside your juice, okay? It's a dirty metal. It looks lovely when you shine it, but you have to constantly maintain it. And unfortunately, unless you're going to constantly maintain the inside of your atomizer, but still your juice is going to sit in there, you're going to inhale that juice, and it's a no-no for me. Okay.
Exactly. But the one of the main things for me as well was Damien saying about getting it off a UK vendor, and they're saying it's a one wood. Please check out and just double check.
Yeah, make double sure, because God knows how many of these things were released. I know there are 3 different clones of this. There is the Fasttech clone, there is the H cigar, and the Rainbow Heaven one. I believe the H cigar is full stainless steel. I don't know, I haven't got one yet. I'm still waiting for one to double check. But I know 100% at the moment the Taifun GT clone from Fasttech that's been shipped out since the end of October, I'm pretty sure they're all chrome plated brass. So, you know, if you're in denial, wake the fuck up and check, okay? Alright. Very sorry about the bad review there, but you know, it's really pissed me off and got to me a little bit. So anyway, have a Merry Christmas, and we'll see you on the next one.
Don't buy one of these.
Safe.